if you're already 70 years old or getting close to it, how do you want to live the years you still have ahead of you? We live in a time when reaching 80, 90, or even 100 no longer seems impossible. And of course, most of us want more time, more mornings with the people we love, more birthdays, more holidays, more ordinary days that turn out to be precious. But somewhere along the way, living longer can become an obsession. You stop eating foods you enjoy because someone told you they're bad for you. You force yourself through exhausting routines because you're afraid that slowing down means giving up. You worry about every ache, every number on a medical report, every new health warning you hear. And sometimes, without realizing it, you become so focused on adding years to your life that you forget to enjoy the life inside those years. After 70, the goal shouldn't simply be to fight aging at all costs. It should be to understand what your body is going through so you can protect what matters most: your strength, your confidence, your independence, and your ability to enjoy everyday life. Because after 70, several important changes become increasingly common. They can affect how you sleep, how your body responds to heat and cold, how you digest food, how steady you feel on your feet, and how much you feel on your feet, and how much strength you have for the simple tasks you once performed without thinking. In this video, we're counting down 5 of the most important changes to understand after 70, from number 5 all the way to number 1. But please pay especially close attention to number 1. It's not something you can always see happening in the mirror, and it may begin quietly. Yet over time, it can influence whether you're still climbing stairs, getting out of a chair, carrying your groceries, and moving around your own home independently. Or whether those ordinary activities gradually require someone else's help. And surprisingly, some of the habits people adopt in an attempt to take it easy after 70 may actually make this change happen faster. So stay with me until the end, because growing older is unavoidable. Losing control over how you live those years doesn't have to be. Let's begin with number 5. Your sleep begins to follow a different rhythm. Maybe you've noticed it already. By 7:30 in the evening, your eyes feel heavy and the sofa becomes difficult to resist. You go to bed earlier than you used to, fall asleep without much trouble. But a few hours later, you're awake again. You look at the clock. It's 1:17 a.m. Eventually, you drift off, only to wake again before sunrise. For many people after 70, they remember being younger, sleeping through most of the night, and waking only when the alarm rang. Now 8 uninterrupted hours can feel like something their body has forgotten how to do. Consider Margaret, a 76-year-old retired librarian. For years, she had gone to bed around 10:30 and awakened at 6:30. But gradually, she began feeling sleepy much earlier. She would doze in her chair after dinner, wake up, force herself to stay awake until her usual bedtime, and then lie there wondering why sleep wouldn't return. When she did finally fall asleep, it was lighter. A noise outside, a trip to the bathroom, or simply turning over could wake her. By morning, Margaret was convinced she had become a terrible sleeper. What she hadn't considered was that her sleep rhythm had changed. As we age, deep restorative sleep often becomes less abundant, and sleep can become lighter and more fragmented. The body's internal clock can also shift earlier. That means you may naturally become sleepy sooner in the evening and alert earlier in the morning. The mistake is assuming you must continue sleeping according to the schedule you followed decades ago. Imagine your body becoming sleepy at 8 p.m., but you decide that going to bed before 10:30 is too early. So you turn on the television, scroll through your phone, switch on brighter lights, and struggle to remain awake. By the time 10:30 arrives, that natural wave of sleepiness may have passed. Now you're tired, but strangely alert. Instead of fighting the change, begin by observing it. If you consistently become sleepy earlier, consider moving bedtime earlier, rather than forcing yourself to reach an arbitrary hour. When you wake in the morning, open the curtains and spend some time in daylight if possible. Regular morning light can help reinforce your body's daily rhythm. Your bedroom matters too. Many people sleep more comfortably in a slightly cool, quiet, dark environment. In the evening, dim, unnecessary lights, and reduce stimulating screen use as bedtime approaches. The idea isn't to turn your home into a laboratory. It's simply to give your brain clearer signals that the active part of the day is ending. And if you wake during the night, don't immediately treat it as a disaster. Some older adults find that a period of quiet wakefulness, followed by another stretch of sleep, works better for them than becoming anxious about achieving 8 perfectly continuous hours. If you're awake and comfortable, a calm activity under low light may be more helpful than repeatedly checking the clock and calculating how many hours you've lost. Of course, persistent insomnia, loud snoring, breathing interruptions, unusual daytime sleepiness, or a sudden major change in sleep deserves a conversation with a healthcare professional. Not every sleep problem should simply be blamed on age. At 70 or 80, good sleep may look different from the sleep you had at 40. Different doesn't automatically mean worse. Listen to the rhythm you have now, then build your routine around it, because sleep isn't the only signal that can become less reliable with age. The next change affects something even more basic: your ability to recognize when your body is becoming too hot, too cold, or even too dry. Number 4, your body's temperature signals may become less reliable. When we're hot, we sweat. When we're cold, we shiver. When we need water, we become thirsty. After 70, those messages may not arrive as quickly or as clearly as they once did. Part of the reason involves the hypothalamus, the area of the brain that helps regulate body temperature. With age, temperature regulation can become less efficient. Sweat glands may also respond less strongly, making it harder for the body to release heat during hot weather. At the same time, blood vessels may not adjust to temperature changes as effectively. Normally, they help manage heat by changing blood flow near the skin. Add the gradual thinning of the insulating layer beneath the skin, and older adults can become more sensitive to cold as well. But here's the part many families overlook. You may not always feel the change strongly enough to act on it. Take Helen, 78, who enjoys caring for the plants on her back porch. One warm afternoon, she decided to repot several flowers before lunch. The weather didn't feel particularly uncomfortable to her, so she kept working. After nearly 2 hours, her daughter came outside and noticed something was different. Helen looked unusually tired and was moving slowly. When asked when she'd last had anything to drink, she couldn't remember. Helen wasn't ignoring thirst. She simply hadn't felt very thirsty. That distinction matters. The sensation of thirst can become less noticeable with age, which means waiting until your mouth feels dry or you desperately want a drink may not always be the best reminder to hydrate. Certain health conditions and medications can complicate this further. Cold weather can create a similar problem. You may sit in a chilly room and think, "I'm fine," while your hands become cold and your movements gradually become stiffer. So after 70, it helps to add a few objective checks to what you feel. Keep an easy-to-read thermometer somewhere visible in your home, rather than judging the room only by comfort. During unusually hot or cold weather, check the actual temperature before deciding that everything is fine. Dress in light layers that can be added or removed easily. This gives you more control when the temperature changes throughout the day, without requiring your body to do all the adjusting itself. Hydration should also become intentional. Instead of waiting for strong thirst, make drinking fluids part of your normal routine. While following any fluid restrictions your doctor has given you for heart, kidney, or other medical conditions, and pay attention to context. A warm afternoon outdoors, a cold room, physical activity, fever, or certain medications can change what your body needs. If you suddenly feel weak, confused, unusually dizzy, or simply unlike yourself during extreme temperatures, don't dismiss it as just getting older. Number 3, your digestive system may need more patience than it used to. Have you ever eaten a meal you've enjoyed for years, only to wonder afterward, why does this bother me now? Maybe you feel full after eating much less than before. Perhaps bread or meat seems harder to swallow unless you take your time. A dinner that once left you satisfied now leaves you bloated for hours. Or your bowel habits have become slower and less predictable. These changes don't necessarily mean you've suddenly developed a serious digestive problem. After 70, several parts of digestion can become less efficient, and the effects may show up at the same time. Digestion actually begins before food reaches your stomach. Saliva moistens food and helps prepare it for swallowing. But many older adults experience a drier mouth, sometimes because of aging, medications, or health conditions. When there's less moisture available, chewing and swallowing certain foods may require more effort. The muscles involved in moving food through the esophagus can also become less coordinated. That's one reason eating quickly may no longer feel as comfortable as it once did. Then the food reaches the stomach. With age, changes in stomach acid and digestive function can affect how comfortably some people process meals and absorb certain nutrients. Farther along, digestive enzymes and the intestinal system also play important roles. Meanwhile, movement through the colon can become slower, contributing to constipation for some older adults. Put all of this together, and a large, heavy meal can simply demand more from an older digestive system. Consider Raymond, 74. Every Sunday, his family gathered for dinner, and Raymond had always been famous for having a generous appetite. He would fill his plate, finish quickly, then go back for a little more. But recently, he would feel overly full, sit in his recliner rubbing his stomach, and sometimes remain uncomfortable until bedtime. At first, Raymond blamed individual foods. One week he eliminated bread, the next week it was cheese, then tomatoes. But eventually he noticed something interesting. When he ate the same foods in smaller portions and slowed down, he felt much better. That became his first adjustment: smaller meals. Instead of expecting your digestive system to manage 2 or 3 very large meals, you may find that moderate portions spread throughout the day feel more comfortable. The second adjustment is almost embarrassingly simple. Slow down and chew. Give each bite enough time to become soft and easy to swallow before taking another. This reduces the mechanical work your digestive system has to perform later, and can also help you notice fullness before you've eaten too much. Some people also tolerate fermented foods, such as yogurt or kefir well, which can contribute beneficial microorganisms to the diet. Fiber remains important too, especially for bowel regularity, but suddenly, adding large amounts may cause more gas and bloating. Increase fiber gradually and pair it with appropriate fluid intake. Are sometimes discussed for persistent digestive complaints, but don't assume everyone over 70 needs them. If symptoms continue, a clinician can help determine whether an enzyme deficiency or another condition is actually present. And that's important, because difficulty swallowing, unexplained weight loss, persistent abdominal pain, blood in the stool, or a significant new change in bowel habits shouldn't simply be dismissed as aging. For everyday age-related changes, however, the answer may not be giving up every food you enjoy. Sometimes your digestive system is simply asking you to change the way you eat. Smaller portions, slower bites, thoughtful food choices, and enough time to process each meal. Number 2, balance becomes something you need to protect deliberately. When we are younger, balance feels automatic. You stand up, turn around, step off a curb, reach for something on a shelf, and your body makes hundreds of tiny adjustments without asking for your attention. After 70, those adjustments may become slower. That's because balance doesn't come from one place. It depends on several systems working together. Your inner ear helps your brain understand movement and the position of your head. Sensors in your muscles and joints tell your brain where your feet, legs, and body are in space, even when you're not looking at them. Your eyes provide another stream of information, helping you judge distance, depth, edges, and obstacles. Your brain must combine all of those signals and respond quickly. With age, vision may be less reliable in dim light. Sensory information from the feet and joints may not feel as sharp. The inner ear can become less responsive, while the brain may need slightly more time to organize the information it receives. Then there are the ankles. Those small muscles and joints make constant corrections while you stand and walk. If they become weaker or stiffer, recovering from a small misstep can become more difficult. For 75-year-old Susan, the first warning wasn't a fall. It was hesitation. One evening, she got out of her chair and walked toward the kitchen without turning on the hallway light. She had made that same walk thousands of times, but when she reached the edge of a small rug, her foot caught slightly. She didn't fall. She grabbed the wall and recovered. But afterward, Susan began thinking about that moment constantly. Soon she was walking differently. She shortened her steps, stared at the floor, avoided stairs whenever possible, and stopped taking her usual neighborhood walks because she was afraid of falling. Fear makes you move cautiously and stiffly. You become less active. Less activity can weaken the legs and reduce opportunities to practice balance. Then you feel even less confident moving, which creates more fear. The answer isn't to become reckless. It's to train balance before you desperately need it. Simple balance exercises can be practiced regularly in a safe environment, preferably near a stable support when needed. Depending on your ability, this might include controlled weight shifts, heel-to-toe movements, or practicing standing and turning with good posture. Another useful approach is dual task training. Real life rarely asks you to balance while doing nothing else. You walk while talking. You carry something while looking for a doorway. You turn your head when someone calls your name. Practicing appropriate movements while performing a simple mental task can help train the body and brain to work together. Tai Chi is another gentle option many older adults enjoy because it combines slow movement, controlled weight shifting, coordination, and attention without requiring fast or aggressive exercise. But training your body is only half the solution. Train your environment too. Look around your home through the eyes of someone trying not to trip. Are there loose rugs? Electrical cords crossing a walkway? Dark stairs? Clutter beside the bed? A bathroom with nothing sturdy to hold? Removing hazards isn't admitting weakness. It's making the environment work for you. Good lighting can make edges and obstacles easier to see. Handrails and grab bars can provide support where slips are more likely, and footwear matters. Shoes that fit securely and provide reliable traction are generally safer than loose slippers that slide or catch underfoot. If dizziness or balance problems appear suddenly or keep getting worse, however, don't assume age is the cause. Medications, blood pressure changes, vision problems, inner ear conditions, and other health issues can contribute and deserve medical attention. Most importantly, don't wait for a serious fall before thinking about balance. You practice it because you want to keep walking confidently, turning safely, getting out of chairs, visiting friends, and moving through your own home without fear. Balance is an ability, and abilities can be maintained and trained, but even excellent balance depends on something underneath it. You need enough strength to control your body when it begins to move in the wrong direction. And that brings us to number 1, the change that can quietly affect nearly every part of independent living after 70. Number 1, the gradual loss of muscle and strength. It affects whether you can rise from a chair without pushing with both hands, whether you can carry groceries from the car, whether you can climb stairs, walk far enough to enjoy an afternoon outside, or react quickly enough to steady yourself after a stumble. The age-related loss of muscle mass and function is often called sarcopenia. It can begin before 70, but it becomes increasingly important as we grow older. One reason is something known as anabolic resistance. When you're younger, your muscles generally respond more readily to protein and physical activity. With age, that response can become less efficient. The same meal and the same amount of movement may no longer provide quite the same stimulus for maintaining muscle. At the same time, other changes are taking place. The muscle fibers responsible for producing quick, powerful movements can decline. Communication between nerves and muscles can become less efficient. Hormonal changes, chronic inflammation, and changes inside the mitochondria, the structures that help cells produce energy, may also contribute, and the body's ability to repair and build muscle tissue isn't as responsive as it once was. This doesn't mean muscle suddenly disappears when you turn 70. It means maintaining it deserves more attention than it did when you were younger. Meet Thomas, 77, who had always considered himself reasonably active. He walked to a nearby cafe most mornings, did his own shopping, and took care of his small yard. Then a respiratory illness kept him mostly indoors and resting for nearly 2 weeks. When he felt better, he expected life to return to normal immediately. Instead, his first trip outside surprised him. The short hill near his house suddenly felt steep. His legs became tired before he reached the cafe. When he returned home, he paused at the bottom of his front steps and wondered how something he'd done effortlessly a few weeks earlier had become so demanding. Thomas hadn't suddenly become old in 2 weeks. A period of illness and inactivity had simply revealed how quickly strength can decline later in life, and how valuable it is to protect the muscle you already have. So what can you do? Start with protein. Older adults need adequate protein to support muscle maintenance, but it's useful to think beyond simply eating a large amount at dinner. Including a meaningful source of protein across your meals gives your body repeated opportunities throughout the day to support muscle protein synthesis. That might mean eggs or yogurt at breakfast, fish, poultry, beans, tofu, or another protein source at lunch, followed by an appropriate protein-rich food at dinner. Protein quality matters too. Leucine, an amino acid found in many protein-rich foods, plays an important role in signaling muscle protein synthesis. Vitamin D also deserves attention because low levels can be associated with poorer muscle function. Rather than automatically taking a high-dose supplement, ask your healthcare professional whether testing or supplementation is appropriate for you. But nutrition alone is only half of the equation. Muscle needs a reason to stay. That's where resistance training becomes so valuable. And resistance training doesn't necessarily mean lifting heavy barbells in a crowded gym. For one person, it may mean standing up from a sturdy chair several times with good control. For another, it might involve resistance bands, light dumbbells, supported squats, or carefully performed exercises prescribed by a physical therapist. The important idea is progressive challenge. Your muscles need to perform work that asks slightly more of them than ordinary sitting and walking. Over time, that signal tells the body that strength is still necessary. Safety matters more than ego. Good technique, appropriate resistance, and gradual progression are far more useful than trying to lift something too heavy, simply to prove that you still can. Recovery matters as well. An older body may need more time between demanding strength sessions. Rest isn't the enemy of progress. Extended inactivity is the bigger concern. If illness or surgery temporarily reduces your activity, ask your healthcare team when and how you can begin moving safely again, rather than remaining inactive longer than necessary. Consider another example. At 74, Diane noticed that getting out of her low garden chair had become awkward. She didn't wait until she could no longer do it. With guidance, she began simple strength exercises several times a week. She also started paying more attention to protein at breakfast and lunch, instead of saving most of it for dinner. Months later, something ordinary happened. Diane stood up from that garden chair while holding a small watering can, and only afterward realized she hadn't needed to push herself up with her hands. That small moment meant more to her than any number on a scale. Because that's what preserving muscle after 70 is really about. Not bigger arms, not looking younger, not competing with someone half your age. It's about keeping enough physical reserve to participate in your own life. Every time you stand from a chair, carry something safely, climb a step, or perform an appropriate resistance exercise, you're reminding your body that these abilities still matter. Aging will change your muscles. You cannot completely prevent that process. Give your muscles adequate nutrition. Give them regular work. Give them enough recovery. And after periods of inactivity, return to movement safely rather than assuming weakness is simply your new normal. Because after 70, strength isn't about proving how powerful you are. It's about preserving the freedom to keep doing as much as possible for yourself. Getting older will change your body, but it does not have to change the way you see your future. If you're already in your 70s, Don't look at these 5 changes as 5 reasons to worry. Look at them as 5 reminders to pay closer attention to the body that has carried you through an entire lifetime. Your sleep may follow a different rhythm. Your body may respond differently to heat, cold, and thirst. Digestion may require more patience. Balance may need to be practiced instead of taken for granted. And preserving muscle may become more important than ever. None of that means your best days are automatically behind you. At this stage of life, health isn't about trying to become 40 again. It's about protecting the abilities that allow you to keep living on your own terms. Being able to get out of your favorite chair, walk through your neighborhood, prepare your own breakfast, visit someone you love, carry your groceries, work in the garden, climb a few steps. Wake up and decide for yourself what you want to do with the day. These may sound like small things, but freedom is often made of small things, and you don't need to transform your entire life overnight to protect them. Start with one change. Go to bed when your body is genuinely tired. Pay closer attention to temperature and hydration. Slow down at meals. Practice your balance somewhere safe. Add an appropriate strength exercise to your week. Make sure your meals provide the nutrition your muscles need. Then keep going. Small actions repeated consistently can become something much larger. Confidence. If this video helped you see aging differently, tell me in the comments, which of these 5 changes surprised you the most? And if you know someone over 70 who could benefit from hearing this message, share this video with them. Getting older is part of life, but continuing to learn, adapt, move, connect, and find meaning in your days, that part is still yours.